All right, everybody, sign up for free if you haven't yet for the Rod Squad newsletter. It drops every Sunday. Got lots of interesting tidbits in there for you. It's brought to you by Suds Full Service Car Wash. Fuel your fleet's finesse with Suds Regina's unbeatable cleaning packages. They'll shine like new every time. The coach, Jim Barker, joins us. Or what are we calling you? The personnel man, Jim Barker. What do you prefer to go by, Coach?
I'll always be the coach. That's
Oh, good.
it never leaves your blood. I might be doing a different job now, but still related and still the coach.
I enjoyed you lining up the coach last week, Mike Miller. It was I got quite a bang out of that interview. He said all the Argo coaches watch the show every day, and he says I get them laughing. So that's it. That's good to know, Jim. So thanks for doing that.
No, it was great. Mike enjoyed it, and it's good for people to get to know who the head coaches in this league are. And Mike is probably the one that people know the least about, but maybe the most interesting of all of them. I mean, he really
Yeah,
has an interesting background and just a great man. I'm just having a ball working with him.
good. Hell of a motivator too. Clearly, I don't know where to start. Other than I guess I'll start with the NFL division playoffs. That's the big story. Is there one game out of the four this weekend that's more interesting to you that you can't wait to watch more than the others?
They're all, I mean, Buffalo and Denver, all year long, I felt Buffalo would win. Last week, I thought Buffalo was going to lose in that game. And Josh Allen just, I wouldn't make the same mistake this time with Denver. And, they have Bo Nix, but I'm not going to pick against Josh Allen. That guy he's on a mission, and he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes to go through this year. So, I think that Buffalo's going to, that's a great game. The other game I love is the Rams and Chicago. You got Sean McVay, kind of the old timer now, even though he's still not even 40, I don't think, but he's the old timer against Ben Johnson. And it's just, Ben Johnson is just such a polarizing figure. It makes him very interesting. I mean, during that game, watching him go for it, backed up on your 35-yard line, and the playoff game at home, it was shocking to me to see some of the things that he did. And but in the end, they ended up winning the game. But again, I'm going to take the Rams there. And Houston, again, it's hard to tell because Pittsburgh was so bad, but I'm going to take Houston over the Pats. I think the Pats are good. They're favored in the game, but that Houston defense is going to give Drake May trouble, I think. And so I'm gonna take Houston in a bit of an upset there, and then Seattle. Seattle's beaten San Francisco a couple times. I mean, how many losses can this team take and and still find a way to win? I mean, they lose George Kittle now, who's such an inspirational leader, and you think, wow, they lost a tight end, but when you lose those inspirational leaders, it's difficult. It's really difficult. So I'm going to take Seattle to beat them again. The third time this year, maybe. Uh,
Uh,
so
yeah. Did you say Patriots to win? Because I didn't.
no, I said Houston to beat the Patriots
Okay, and that's based on their
because of
defense.
their defense.
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I said based on their defense. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, their offense could be a problem. Houston's offense could be a problem for Houston, but I just think that they've played a better schedule all year. The Patriots just do what they have to do to win, but I just believe Houston has. There's just something about that team. I just feel like they're kind of like with Buffalo. I just don't think that Josh Allen's going to get stopped. Houston this year, just I don't know. There's something about them that I feel like they're going to make it to at least to the championship. So we'll find out. It's going to be a great weekend. But there's some
Oh
great
yeah.
stories in the NFL. You were talking about stories in the NFL. I mean, how about what are the Raiders going to do? I mean, I so want them. If Kurt Signetti wins the national championship, he goes from James Madison to winning a national championship in 2 years. And in the year he didn't win the national championship, his team made the playoff at the college football playoffs. And what, they lost one or two, lost 2 games, I think. Um, they have a chance to be 16-0. You could say they're the greatest team in the history of college football. How many teams have been 16-0? So he does that in 2 years. So if you're Mark Davis, why don't you just go dump a load? Just dump $50 million. Say, I'm going to get out of your way. You do whatever you got to do. Just win us a championship. Maybe they would have a chance if he did that. If Mark Davis would just let somebody else do it.
He might also have their quarterback in that building with the number 1 overall pick. So you could have
Well,
Fernando Mendoza and Kurt Signetti.
that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's my
Well,
point. That's my
well, they
point.
might.
So
Yeah.
there's some things that make that actually could happen. And if you're Kurt Signetti, what else do you have to do but have the greatest college football team in 2 years and to go and to the NFL and do the same thing? And then he can say all he wants, just Google me.
There's a ton of questions come in from the audience, and I'll get to those. Just one on the national championship. I don't need to tell you how crazy they're going here on the game Monday night.
Yeah.
And Miami's own Fernando Mendoza coming in, leading Indiana against a hurricane. It's mind-boggling. Hoosiers are favored by 8.5. What do you think is going to happen Monday night?
Well, I think Indiana's just they're just too good of a football team. Period. I mean, there's nothing else you can say except they are too good of a football team, and to pick against them, I think, is crazy. I think Miami's what Mario Cristobal has done is unbelievable. I think it's interesting the 2 coaches that have made it to the national championship are both coaches that believe in more taking the snap under center, old school football. They're both Nick Saban guys. They're both guys that believe you win in the trenches. That's where games are won. Both of those guys are the same that way. So I think it's just a fascinating championship game for college football, and maybe will lead to a lot of teams changing the way they're playing the game instead of all this spread out, type of football, where everybody, it's not as physical of a game to a lot of colleges and universities. So I think it's going to be a great game, but I'm taking Indiana all the way.
Hey, you were wondering what I was looking at as we were talking here. Going into the season, you weren't, but I'm just saying. Going into the season, these were the top 25 AP rankings. 1 Texas, 2 Penn State, 3 Ohio State, 4 Clemson, 5 Georgia, 6 Notre Dame, 7 Oregon, 8 Alabama, 9 LSU, 10 Miami. Indiana did come out of nowhere. They were 20th ranked. Would you like that? And I think that's for a lot of reasons, but Fernando's a big reason.
Well, yeah, Fernando's won the Heisman Trophy for good reason. He's going to be the first guy taken in the draft for good reason. He's a big guy, very accurate, great arm, and he just has that mentality. He's able to wipe off whatever happens and come out. He'd be a great golfer. He's got that great calmness about him that Tom Brady had, that the great quarterbacks have. So he got into the right place. I mean, if he was still a Cal, nobody would have heard of Fernando Mendoza.
No.
But he gets with that program and that coach and that situation, and he shows he's the greatest player in college football. That, to me, speaks volumes about so much of success in professional football, college football, even high school football, is what program do you end up in? If you end up in a program that suits you, you got a chance to show your greatness. If you don't, you never will.
Okay, Coach DeBuck has a few questions from Fort Lauderdale. Matt DeBuck, your former player, he wants to know a few things, but number one, who's the quarterback roster? What's the quarterback roster with the Argos right now?
Well, it's Chad Kelly on top and Nick Arbuckle. So 2 quarterbacks that have both started Grey Cups and won, which is nice to have in your quarterback room. And then Max Dugan is there. Not Seth Dagey, Jarrett Dagey, Seth's brother. Mm-hmm. One of them Seth, one's Jarrett. I think Jarrett's the one that's here.
Yes.
And then Tucker Horn, a young guy from Trinity, stayed here all last year. Coach Miller really likes him, thinks he has a great upside. So we have 5 quarterbacks. Now, I'm sure that, as the spring goes, there'll be some trade opportunities. Some people will probably want to get one of these quarterbacks. So we'll wait and see. And right now, we're going to sit tight at 5. We could go to camp. We may have to lose one of them, but we'll talk about that stuff as we get closer. But that our quarterback room is strong. Anytime you have 2 Grey Cup winning quarterbacks, guys that started Grey Cups and won them, it's a good thing, good position to be in.
Seth Daggy, we had him in Sask. Great guy. Yeah, you've got Jarrett, but it says he's with Arizona. I don't know, coaching. I
Right.
don't know if
Yeah.
that's is that Cardinals or Wildcats? Cardinals.
I think it's the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. I think he's
Okay,
in the NFL now, but I don't know.
gotcha. Well, there's the answer. That's Seth. They also want to know where you think the whereabouts of or where the landing spots for Mike McDaniel's going to be, the former Dolphins coach, with 8 other openings in the NFL right now for head coaches.
He's so quirky. I'm going to say Cleveland just because Cleveland's quirky. They just do things like this. And again, I'm going to say Cleveland. It's amazing how all these coaches are just shuffling. They're just moving them from one place to another. And it's what we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's all about starts at the top. And when you're in an organization that's sound, that's good, that knows what they're doing, and they're giving you a chance to win, that's everything. Because there are teams that will not allow you to spend to the cap, or you're not in college, you're not allowed to spend more than a certain amount in NIL money, and they put you at a disadvantage. Now the public doesn't know that, but there are NFL teams that do that. That just will take $20 million off the top and say, this is what our cap is, period. And that's just the way it is. It's why some teams win and some teams never win. And how long has it been for the Cardinals? And teams like that just don't win.
Forever.
And you have to look. And the Giants, the Jets,
Yep.
the Giants, at least when Parcells was there, did okay. But the Jets, like, what do they do? What do they do? I mean, it is what it is.
Jeff, the Stampeders fan, wants to know your thoughts on the Argos signing Adarius Pickett.
Well, he was a very, very important guy for us in the offseason, going into the offseason before he was released early. We have to change a culture here. You talk to Coach Miller. It's about winning football is about culture, and it's about being able to have like-minded individuals. One of the things we lacked a little bit of presence on defense, of that tenacity, and the leader of the defense, Wynton McManus, was hurt a lot of the year, so they lost that. And what Darius Pickett brings is one of the things that really stood out to me was he got an Achilles injury, went out for the year with an Achilles injury, came back last year and didn't miss a game, didn't miss a practice. Now, that speaks volumes to the kind of guy you want in your locker room. So he became a very important guy for us, and we were not going to let him get away. It was one of those things we felt like we needed badly to have that type of individual. Greg Quick, our defense coordinators, coached him. He's been here with Coach Miller. The people here have been around him, and what he brings, they believe our club needs.
Well, it's funny you talk about the culture. Wasn't I feel like that long ago that the Argos were winning Grey Cups, but a lot of people left in that time. And it's funny because Calgary was winning all the Grey Cups. Their staff and roster got raided primarily by Toronto, but other teams too. And then Toronto got raided. Corey Mace ends up in Saskatchewan. What happened? They went. It happens, and I think because the CFL is so small, 9 teams, it's magnified more. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. There's no doubt you can go from top to bottom in a hurry, but you can also go from bottom to top. And that's what we're trying. I mean, this team only won 5 games last year. And so it's crucial for the entire organization to take a step forward and change whatever was happening. And that's what we're doing right now is we are Coach Miller, and you like I said, I'm glad you got to have him last week. He's changing what things are like around here.
Ryan in upstate New York says there's a lot of options for the New York Jets at number 2 picking. He says, I believe, but I imagine there are some deflated scouts who were hoping Dante Moore stayed in Oregon. Arlen Bruce writes in, he says, awesome show as always. Coach Barker, could you please look into the situation with Arlen Bruce IV being banned from the Canadian Football League? It hurts my heart every day to witness this. I believe you've addressed this before, right? Anything new?
Yeah, no, nothing's new, but and now that I'm in the league, I can at least ask about it because I'm in complete agreement with Arlen that you know you pay your price, and now I don't know. I would like to see him be able to play up here and get an opportunity. So, and I will bring it up actually, although I'm the director of player personnel, not the GM and things. But I will talk to Penn about it, and because I do believe it's one of those things that needs to be looked at. Sean Lemon, he made an error, paid a price, but now he's back, and I see the same thing with Arlen's son.
Jacques Chapdelaine said it. It's a league built on second chances. I loved it. It was like the most magical thing he said. And it's like, that's changed. Christ, how old is AB? Not even that old. 20, 21? You get a ban?
Yeah, I know.
But anyways,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's sad. Hey, listen, as the Dodgers guy, the new evil empire, with what they're doing, does it put it like, probably as a Dodgers fan, you would not be the person to ask if this sours your taste on baseball. They're just buying up everybody. They got 8 players on $100 million or more contracts.
If you can do it, you do it. I mean, that's if the rules allow it, then you do it. If it's a luxury tax and the Dodger people want to pay it, then do it. Does it sour you? It does a little. I mean, like I said, this last year, the World Series was very eye-opening for me because I so wanted to cheer for the Blue Jays. They play a 5-minute walk from where I live. Yet when it came, and I did, the first 4 games I did until that ball stuck in the fence. And I didn't even think about it. And when the ball stuck in the fence, I like jumped up, and it was like it was a reaction, like when they hit your knee and it pops up. I was
muscle
trying
memory.
hard not to. Yeah,
muscle memory. I think
you can't help yourself.
Yeah, I don't think we lose that with our teams, but it's just
honestly,
you're not the.
I don't follow many of the moves, so like I don't know who this Tucker guy is they signed. So I don't know who a lot of them are. I follow it around when it gets to the playoffs and the playoffs and the World Series. Then I follow it, but I don't follow it much now because I'm so busy with this other stuff.
You can't. You don't have time, and that's why I got my hands full with what I'm doing. But God bless our viewers because they're just going off about Bichette and Tucker, and I'm like, God, I don't know where you guys got the time, but God bless you for doing that.
I loved one. I loved your one viewer that said Bo Bichette gets hurt too much to pay over $40 million. I love that when fans.
That was Laura.
Think that way.
Laura from Edmonton, the one that gave me the bell. Yeah. All right, Jim. Thanks. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football.
I will. You too.
The coach, Jim Barker, checking in from the Big Smoke, Hogtown. We'll be coming right back with a sports update and viewer takeover the rest of the way, everybody. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us on the Western Dodge text line. We'll be right back here. You're watching Across Nevada on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network and Game Plus TV.